Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with day 18 of the 30 days of sketches from Christy's Beautiful Life. And I'm also doing the load prompt, which is about dressing up like a superhero or serving in the military. And then there is a challenge in the Mind the Scrap CyberCrop that deals with eco-awareness, and for that using the color green is the technique, one of the technique prompts. So I'm going to try to combine all three of those challenges because I'm really not feeling great today, and I want to make one video where three would do, or I don't want to make three videos where one would do. So let's try it. And I apologize if my voice doesn't sound quite on point, but this is the sketch today, and it's kind of a mixed media style sketch, so I love it. I could do a lot of wet work and fancy dripping, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use Distress Oxides and a couple stencils, and I forgot to pull my green stencil brush. So I'm using green here. Let's see, there it is. When I got these Distress Oxide blenders, Tim Holtz, in a video that I saw, suggested using a permanent marker to mark this little band there with the color. So this one, is red, and some of that's wearing off, to be honest. And so I had a little trouble. Either it's wearing off or my eyes are wearing out, and both could possibly be true. So I need to remark those. So that's maybe something when I organize my stencils. These are kind of an essential stencil tool, so I may add that into the project. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut my photo. This is a photo of Katie wearing her dad's army, I don't know, do you call that a jacket, John? Is it an army jacket? And she was standing in the kitchen, and he had it out to clean, or it had just come back from the cleaners, and it was kind of hanging over with the coats, which this is the coat rack back there. And she had put it on. He walked out into the kitchen, and he saw her trying on his jacket. She put it on, and when he walked in, she saluted him. And it's just one of my favorite pictures. I've scrapped it before, but I filtered it this time, and I'm going to put it in a very different setting from what I did before. One of the elements of the load prompt was to use stripes. So I had this scrap of paper that I'd already die cut some leaves out of. So I have a couple little things here, but that's where the embellishments are going to go, so that'll get covered up. I put foam in between the photo. I used the same set of dies that have little crisscross embossed edges on there, and I just used the smaller one for this and a larger one for that. And I used foam in between the photo and the circle, and then more foam between it and the background. I marked on my background paper approximately where the circle will go, so I know where to put my mixed media stuff. So I have two stencils that have drips, and I'm going to use both of them and a variety of colors of Distress Oxide inks. And I don't know what's going to show up well on this green background paper. I used this is kind of, to me, a celery green. I used it the other day. It's just, as a whole, this isn't necessarily one of my favorite colors. It came in a pack of other colors that I use more often. And frankly, it has sat around for a really long time. It's textured on the other side, but I'm using the smooth side because I want the ink to spread nicely. And I used it as a background the other day, just, you know, kind of in an effort to use something that has gone ignored for a while. Okay, that looks passable. There's this one that kind of also has some, I want that to come down. So I'm going to use this. That first one I used was, I think, Bundled Sage. And this time I'm using, and I kind of accented it with Forest Moss. And this one I'm just using Forest Moss from the get-go. And this stencil is from the Crafter's Workshop, TCW. And it's number TCW 2385. I've got some mixed media that's on there. 2385, I think it is. And this one is from BrambleFox. They're just, in addition to their acrylic pieces, they're doing stencils, and their stencils are amazing and wonderful. I'm going to do this long one kind of coming down here, and I'm going to do it in yet a different color. I'll do peel paint. Well, did I do peel paint the first time? That seems familiar. Let's do that. And then I'm going to take this little line of drops there and do that with yet a different color, the Shabby Shutters, which is a lighter color that may actually be, I'm going to turn it this way. And I'm going to spread out some dots, and I'll show you in a minute why I like the dots. I'm going to do this kind of splashy looking thing over to this side, which will make it something of a background. Let me do the Bundled Sage here. It'll be the background for that small embellishment cluster. And it'll just kind of provide a kind of a radiating. Let's see how if that shows up. The little radiating parts don't necessarily show too well, so I'm going to go back with the Forest Moss and kind of, and it's okay if it's a little offset because the first ones didn't really show too much anyway. I'm just gonna, where I see dots, I'm just kind of adding dots around, and I want to do some more dots right in here. I'm gonna channel my inner Julie Taylor, and I'm actually going to use an ink pen to trace around the dots. Okay, I think that's kind of picked that up. Next thing I want to do is make these little circles that are up here. And I've got a couple things. Let me close this up and put it away, put my stencils off to the side. I did this little demo the other night about stamping without stamps, and I used, I think, this bottle cap and this little guy right here to make these. They're the wrong color, otherwise I'd have cut them out somehow and use them. They will get used somehow. So I'm going to go here with that, and I'm going to use a different color for another. I like the peel paint. Kind of, there's a little more yellow in that, and I like that a lot. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to take some bundled sage, which is fairly light, and I'm going to do that, and that, and maybe this won't necessarily show. Okay, now I've got some stripes down here. I think that's all I'm going to do. This is completely outlined with like an inner square. I don't think I'm going to do that, but we'll see. We'll see if it looks empty when I put things together. Okay, from now it should go a little bit quicker. Yeah, I've covered the little green ones, so not going to be so quick after all. I'm going to do some out here where they actually show. There. I underestimated the radius of that guy. Okay. There. Now, oddly enough, these greens are kind of what are collectively known as army greens. And as you can see, they're nothing like the green, the actual green of the jacket. Let me do this. I'm actually going to do that right there, and I'm going to put it down with some glue because it's fabric, and I'll maybe and that kind of overlaps there. Okay, so now I'll offset this a little bit so that there's some overlap. That's okay there. Let me get that down. And I've cut a couple circles out of some real wood. I think it was Dear Lizzie, maybe a couple years ago, came out with a pad of what she called mixed media paper. And this sheet was actual real wood. It's very thin, like sheets of balsa wood almost. And I thought that this wood, the scrap has been lying around kind of actually on my desk over by my big computer. And when I printed the photo, it looks like the color of the cabinets. It doesn't look anything like the color of the cabinets really, but the filtered photo kind of looks like that. So I only had 2 of them, so I'm gonna put them around on here. Just in a couple places where they may get overlapped by flowers. But let's see, I might do this more out here where I'm not interrupting that stuff. Okay, This one, I thought I would maybe try to scooch it. I'm going to cut it in half, and I may be very sorry I did that, but since I don't want it to dominate as much over here as over there, I'm just going to do it that way, and then I'll build up around it. I've got these fussy cut leaves. These are from Storyteller by Vicki Boutin. And my big exciting news today is that I did a layout with Storyteller paper and tagged her in it on my Instagram story, and she picked it up. She commented on it, she picked it up and actually ran it with her story. So I was excited. It's nice to wake up to an Instagram story from Vicki Boutin and see your own work. So that was cool. Okay, let me I don't like any of the places that I'm thinking about putting that. Let me kind of scooch it under there, and then I'm gonna do this. I don't want to cover up that leaf. I like this leaf better than this floral. Okay, let me just I also want to work this star in, so maybe I'll do that. See, I've got a little piece right here that's troubling me. See if I can sneak this underneath. It's where the stripe is kind of showing through. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, and I should have done the fabric last, but we'll see. I thought it would go quickly from there. I needed to pull that out a little bit. There, and that's okay. I'm just gonna, I'm rejecting those flowers because they don't really fit the tone of my color scheme. These do. So I'm going to use them, I think, over here. It's got that kind of dusty pink, and it's got leaves that are like the greens in my mixed media. So I'll kind of do that. Let me get another one of these partial leaves. Kind of get it maybe back here. Moving that around more this way because I don't want those circles. Let me get this more like that. I know I'm getting picky, but I'm really trying to keep with the look of this, where you have the large cluster here and the smaller cluster here. And you have a horizontal and a vertical element there. So we'll see if I can pull that off. Restraint is not my middle name. Okay, there. And I'll hold that down. Lift that up. Okay, here's a full leaf. don't know that I want to use a full leaf, so I may do this one here. And that's going to, I'm letting the leaves, these leaves be the major story here rather than florals. That also is uncharacteristic of me. I'm going to do some glue on these. I've filled up most of the space that I thought I wanted to use there. Let me do another bit. I don't want to cover up that splatter, and I'm being too possessive of my splatters here. I'll put it over, I'll leave that as it is, and I'll highlight that in a different way. Okay, I'll let that overlap that, whereas this leaf underlapped that one. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do there. I may try to use one of these little gold bows, but at the moment I'm not feeling it. Okay, so I'm going to right now use my T-square to draw a horizontal line along which I can write some journaling. Let's see if we get that. And then I want to do it kind of right here also at this corner. So I'm going to square it with the lines in my mat. Okay. Okay. And now I want to put my title in, maybe photo op. Got another flower cluster that I may try to sneak in there. Put that there. I've got a couple hearts in those things. I've got little dots that can go throughout that are in just the right color scheme. And then I'm going to highlight some of the dots that are there. I'm going to do this blue one, even though there is no blue. It's the same. I think it's the same as that. Do that. Oh, let's see. And this has that kind of dusty pink. I can maybe use all of these up. There's a green that matches those leaves. Put that out there. And a couple small hearts, maybe hanging off there. A little kind of purplish one. Let me put that up a little farther so that the purple one doesn't have to hang so far off. Okay. There. I need something right there, but I'm not feeling anything. How's this? A camera. I don't want it to cover up the uniform, so not liking that. This may be where I can use this. That brings it too far around. This is bothering me. I can't explain why, and I can't see anything that, how about a butterfly? That might work. I like this color right here. This is the problem with not dry fitting, and I couldn't dry fit because a lot of the design depended on the drips, if you will. So that kind of set the pattern there. Okay, and I'm just going to put a little wet glue on there and kind of set it right there. And I'll press it down in the center so that glue takes hold. And then I can pull the leaves up. Okay, done. Put that aside. I did have some little tiny gold hearts that I thought I might sprinkle around as well. Maybe a tiny gold heart next to dots. Okay. Having a hard time not using this. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it done, except for selecting a few of these dots to outline. When Julie does this, she doesn't outline every dot, but she takes some of the more interesting shapes and gives them definition, and I really love that. Do some around the title here and kind of inside the title. Maybe pick one of these. Okay. Now, I will write some journaling across here and down here, but this guy is done. And it's basically going to say, it was a great photo op for James when he walked into the kitchen to see Katie trying on his army jacket. So, and I'll try to write it in it. Well, let's just do it. Print it in all caps. Okay. So, says it was a great photo op for James when he saw Katie in his uniform. And over here, I'm pretty sure this was 2013. I will look it up and I will put the date right. Well, I'm going to do 2013. And I can always put a printed strip or something over that. So I'm going to call that done. That answers the load prompt. It honors the sketch. And it's green for the eco prompt challenge at Mind the Scrap. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow with another of the 30 days of sketches and the next load prompt. And tomorrow I will also have a video for 31 days of spooky scraps, and it's going to use this photo. It's a great one. Ava's being as monstrous as she can possibly be, and Katie and Barrett have great masks on. And this is our door, and was always decorated with these are spiders I cut on my Cricut, and the others are Halloween artwork that the kids brought home from school. So I'm gonna have fun with that one. So thanks for watching. See you later, and hopefully I'll have a better voice and feel better about all of this. So, bye.